Poppy also makes sense for Duro. Gets to block the Leona, gets to block the engages from the Azir. And the Poppy is a great takeaway. Like, you deny it for future drafts. Also moments where we just go in and kind of die.
Yeah.
Post nerfs,
that's with the silence. Rich gonna boop him back a little bit late.
This is all set up for the dive though, so as long as he doesn't die, it's worth it.
Yeah. Sponge gonna get slowed down momentarily, just smashes for the wallbang, and that is going to be first blood going over to Rich.
The Neferi hit like a couple of bleeds. Oh, Duro.
Yeah, Duro looking for the angle. He won't get the stun, but moves Rich back into danger. Andel's moving up though, and maybe they can turn it. Another crash from Sponge, and Duro's just dead. 16! That might be the maximum. DRX might be looking to end it right there. It's 5.5 minutes into the game, Max.
I didn't want to kill your. I didn't want to steal your fun, or I didn't want to kill your vibe.
Reality crept into my dream.
I'm glad, because I was gonna. Oh, Chovy might have to ult. Yep.
Hang on a second. Ulti going to be used from UCal here as Chovy wanting to turn it. Man, pretty happy to just go straight into the Azir, but Sponge being able to get the flash out of him, and on the other side, the Pigeon not so lucky. Another charm actually hitting max range. Ruler with the follow-up, and there's an equalizer down. Sponge is dead. Oh god, I spoke way too. Reason is what it feels like here in this early game for Gen.G. Zandal moves back to the mid lane, but honestly just here to pick up some experience. Grubs. That does indeed come in. As Keen moving on over, wanted to charge that heat up, does manage to do so. Is now Teddy in a pretty safe spot as that is a two-man on the Impale. Duro just flashes away though in the equalizer. Walk down here by Andal. He can't go back in again as Canyon goes untargetable for the moment. As that's a teleport in from Chovy, gets into that backline, misses the charm, but that doesn't matter. Down goes the Jace as Ruler is going to cleanse away any sort of stuns that are coming in. And Andal thrown around like a ragdoll entirely here. And we'll just get barbecued in the backline. Gen.G just seemingly immortal in this team fight. Teddy is alive for the rest of
it. It's also the 17th.
All right.
For Gen.G versus DRX.
Canyon moving in, Sponge in position. Canyon dives on top of him. The deadly flourish from max range. And goodbye, Mr. Skarner. This setup from Gen.G is just... All right, peace.
Hell no. I'm not, no part of this. I want out and just flashes and leaves.
Yeah.
Good for you, UCal.
Doesn't get
Graves with extra steps. And I feel like Canyon wants to be Nidalee or Graves every
Oh god, I've seen this before. As Rich was there. I promise everyone, he was there. He's not anymore.
Man, Duro. Oh. He's been stepping it up. It's good to see.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
It's also
anything about that. As oh god, yeah.
Okay, he can do something about this. He's very far up.
He can't. Well, not now. Now he can't do anything about it because he's too far up. And so we're gonna have to repeat the player cam. It is going to net them a Rift Herald, so that's something. But still, Gen.G.
Ruler can just open up.
Oh, he could almost die as well as he's impaled, and Canyon comes in. Ruler is fine. Never mind. Duro's now coming down. Canyon continuing the fight here as the curtains are being called. Teddy is going to be his target. Decides to put a few bullets into Sponge as well, and Ruler picks it up with the last one.
I was about to say.
Yeah.
DRX, you got this. You got this!
Oh, UCal. I don't know what that was, but it looked kind of funny. As all right, they have managed to knock away the jungler, but they've killed the Azir. And now this is looking so deadly. Oh my goodness. Rich gonna get taken out there as Canyon makes Teddy just watch while the bleed is set. Oh, one last tick, and that is enough to take him down. Heartbreaking here for the 80 carry of DRX. And Gen.G, they've got a smorgasbord of things that they can take, and I think the Dragon is going to be on that list.
Oh, UCal, no. UCal, no. Ruler doesn't have flash. That play makes sense. You get him.
He was a long way away from getting.
He was really fair. Yeah, no, he was not. He was not that close. Oh!
Hang
Rich.
on.
A man with a dream.
Maybe this was all for this moment instead, as Keen is going to be able to... Oh no, oh no, oh no, he's just dead. The Impale is going to get stopwatched as well by Keen. And now Sponge is getting blended. Okay, UCal goes in. Doesn't have Emperor's Divide because he used it before. And Sponge, no! Oh god, thank goodness UCal's actually able to grab the kill, but I don't know whether it was worth it. And by I don't know, I mean it was not worth it, ladies and gentlemen. Slammed into the wall and destroyed.
It was not in range. UCal, I've been, you know, with the bleed as well, the final tick. That's just, it doesn't matter for the game.
No.
And then here, Rich, Chovy has a 4-stacks Magi.
Canyon is looking to kill Rich again. That equalizer was unnecessary, Keen. We did not need to do that. It's okay. Canyon just going to dash over that one, find some daggers there as well, is now just going to avoid the Impale very comfortably. And yeah, DRX cannot catch a break.
I remember seeing a few of the games that Canyon played on the Neferi, and I think it was like the first two didn't look that great.
No. This one looks pretty good.
He looks so, yeah.
He's really, like,
it makes sense.
A lot of play on the edge as well, and I feel like that's the best look for Neferi.
It is, and it's in theory it is a Canyon champion, right? It's an 80 big 80 threat,
and it's a hands champ as well. Yeah,
it's a hands champ, exactly. So it makes sense that he'd be good at it. I just feel like before we didn't really see that.
And you know, I could like feel lazy for that, but just the food options around my place, because we live in a real old person area, so there's so about their recent hike that they went on. That's when you know it's the goods, and there's like 11 of them. As we got a bit of a team fight starting off here as Canyon might be engaged on. The Impale did actually work this time, but now he's out of there. And the Leona is just dead. They are all walking on the barbecue, by the way. As there's another explosion. Canyon just goes in, gets back out. Rich is in the bottom lane in the meantime as Teddy's played some DDR, able to actually get out of the way of Chovy as well. Very nicely played. It means about nothing as the Happy Bee is nowhere near the rest of the Gen.G members, and so he's just having a really good time. A natural habitat here for Rich.
Rich must have known the observers were going to highlight.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
He was giggling as that is one of the funniest things I've seen a player do.
Sorry, boys.
Oh, no.
He knew about HLE. We did not. Rich is going to get harpooned and destroyed. And we're going to find that 1-2 punch. 4-0-11 now on the Jin. That's neat. Duro now hunting.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh, dear. Okay, well, Keen isn't super healthy, all right, there goes the Skana. Teddy is equalized, if you could really say that. Doesn't look very equal to me. Emperor's Divide does next to nothing. My God, this Rumble does so much damage.
Just end the game. Gen.G.
Please, please,
Gen.G.
please.
No, Gen.G. Okay. Thank you. No pings towards Nash.
No,
Dragon.
They should do Dragon first. Yeah, not Baron. No. That's a little bit too close to trying to win the game. No, never mind. Gen.G are looking to try and close this one out. Curtain call, just to make sure that Sponge cannot do anything. He already couldn't do anything, by the way. As Rich is going to respawn, but the Nexus is not until game 2. Gen.G not going to get upset here today, nor is Chovy going to die. So we're going to make that 6 games in a row.
Yeah, he's at one of the coolest plays. You know, like a Chovy 4-man flash taunt. That was cool. That happened.
It's really interesting because my brain kind of computes that as Chovy making that play on Gen.G, but it was when Chovy was playing for DRX.
It was
against.
No good answer. Let's drop the balls.
Yeah, we're not going to do that. All right, we are Flash Justice punching for a max range taunt. UCal is dead for first blood, and I personally think there is
like very go in, proc combo and run out again.
Yep. Actually gives you an exit strategy.
Good tech.
Canyon has not missed a spear, and there's another flash pulverize here from Duro, much like last week, looking real good on the cow. The Kitty Cat gets yet another kill. There are a lot, it's like a menagerie on the Rift right now as the deer gets taken down by a cat and a cow. All right, that's a lot of people that agree with you. That's 112 so far on the poll. Get on Twitter if you don't believe Ruler looks like a tiger. But right now, 92%.
I should credit this was not my original. I just saw someone tweet this. I'm like, you are right.
Yeah, we should actually.
Yeah, I will.
I'm sure you can figure it out.
Yeah, I'll do.
All right, Make It Rain is pretty good setup as it turns out. As my God, Teddy taking a lot of damage there as the bullet time through the door is going to be the opportunity here. Is Chovy getting close in? Oh, is this his first death? His first death in 6 games. Never mind. He's just going to ult to the bottom lane. Ghoulie Wall. And, oh, look at the Mechanical Maiden. It's kind of cool. Little steampunk maiden over there. As Chovy.
In general, I would say depends on the type of content. I think when it comes to art, when it comes to pure entertainment, I don't, but not currently.
Well, just not all of them. As okay.
Also that.
Duro does finally go in. The door is now down as there is the heroic entrance, but it only gets a knock up onto the Braum. Yukal's teleported in as well as another taunt. The bullet time laid on top as Teddy nowhere to go. No chance to get out, and a gorgeous headbutt back onto Yukal as well. He's going to get decimated. Another kill goes over to Ruler, and Canyon is flashing forward to try and take down Sponge. The spear is going to land because of course it is. And Gen.G, this is
ends up being a big detriment, and then Canyon.
Oh, is this another replay? No, this is just Yukal dying.
Yep. So back to dinosaurs. Atlas, have you seen...
points in my life.
Yeah.
And at first I was like, oh, cool dinosaurs, and then I was incredibly depressed. As Duro is just moving forward, does manage to interrupt the CC, but does get Chains of Corruption. Andel is likely to be dead, but can they get more is the question here as Chovy moves on to a killing. This Ruler just over here, taking down an outer turret in the mid lane. It feels like there are twice as many Gen.G members on the map than there are DRX members, and I think that's because they have twice as much money as them. Or at least that's what it feels like. 2,000 gold lead for a Galio into Rise in the mid lane at 15 minutes. Not something that I've seen all that much of. That's all right. It's a Hextech soul as well.
I did a little checkup. We're at 2-7.
I don't know whether DRX really have too much of a right to contest this, but they're going to go for it. Chovy looks for Yukal on a flank angle, gets his flash out. As now Duro on the flank, but they need to wait for him as Gen.G somewhat split at this point in time. Ghoulie Wall not going to lock down Chovy as Duro. The triple knock up into the bullet time! And there is the heroic entrance as well. They are only just able to take down Andel in the end, but they also get themselves the Rift Herald, and Rich is taking so much damage. In goes Duro once again! And now Canyon is just murdering them in melee range as this kitty cat, the taunt lands onto everyone, and Gen.G mop them. Keep up to. There's that. There's also the fact that Chovy hasn't died in 6 games in a row.
20 Griffin. Chovy in 2020 was on DRX.
Wait, yeah. Wait.
Ah, boo.
Yeah, different one. Damn it. Iroven Woodid was on that team. Oh, man. Sorry, Woodid.
They can't lose Otacon, by the way.
Well, they are going to.
No, I mean, Gen.G can't. Yes,
because otherwise they won't get a perfect game. All right, there's some knockups. Andel able to walk his way out. Oh no! Oh no! Turret! The turret's gonna go down! No, Rich! Don't do it! No! No! Oh, why? Why?
You had one job!
Perfect game is dead. Rip the perfect game. We almost got there. One turret.
I love that Jonas Strongest did the zoom because he knew the people would want to see this.
Yeah.
Tragic.
Okay, well, Gen.G are going to be able to take down this inner turret. It's moving towards 24 minutes into the game. So we'll have Baron up relatively.
No, I get what you mean. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah. That's all right, there's a headbutt pole. It's going to connect onto the Braum, who does have the door, but the door isn't exactly mitigating as much as we'd want it to, as there's the bullet time. He waits for the Unbreakable to wear off, as now the heroic entrance comes down. Canyon.
This is it. That's all you need to do. Just keep going. Keep on trucking.
Yeah, you got another guy in chat, by the way, saying like Surf Rock as the ghoulies. Yeah, so I can hear that as well. Another turret, but I guess the perfect game's already dead.
Doesn't matter.
Who really cares?
Yeah, it's fine.
Oh my god, 50% of his health bar with a double up. That doesn't feel great. Well, we're flashing for a Justice Punch as Andel going to be the sacrificial Braum once again. Yukal threw some spells into Chovy and didn't manage to break his magic shield. As down goes Andel yet again. Another bullet time is beautiful. Gets voted for POM and you get to do an interview. It's pretty cool, actually.
Okay.
Oh, Rich going for the steal.
Wow, let him have it.
Wow, Rich didn't have smite. That's
boo,
so weird.
Canyon, boo. Give him something. So, who's your POM vote?
My POM vote? Canyon. 1000%. Or Duro. After like this and all the other things. Chovy's also played well. Maybe we just give
Remember his
yeah,
Ari?
yeah, and actually his Galio's been phenomenal as well.
But
I just feel like
Canyon's
Neferi was also so good in game one.
Yeah. Yeah, if Canyon gets
Yugal's dead.
That's fine.
Chovy is going pretty quick.
You know, I think I'm just biased because Chovy playing Galio again.
Yeah.
It just brings back good memories.
Does. As bullet time flies in. Oh, the unbreakable from Andal is kind of decent here as Sponge trying to get a flank angle off. Ruler is relatively low as the Maiden going aggressive, but not quite aggressive enough here. As look at these health bars.
The damage!
Just melting.
The Dominus!
Yeah, that was... We are getting some information about this buff of the Dominus above level 16. Looking great as now Gen.G just trying to add insult to injury, but they will take down the Nexus. That was an absolute show.
Back to the space as that was it ended pretty much like a beatdown, but it started off okay for DRX.
Honestly, first 5 minutes, pretty good. Everything after, Brendan?
Not so good. Two Magi's on the other team, not so good.
That's the
no
type of analysis I expect from the
Valve. Wasn't good.
Yeah, you know, not so good.
Less than ideal, I think.
Sometimes good, sometimes not so good. That's how that goes. Yes. Let's take a look at those early plays that happened here. Starting off with DRX finding some success in the top lane into the Keen Rumble, and it was again a promising start here, Ox.
Yeah, I think, you know, if you're taking the Jace in any situation, but like Jace in a Rumble, playing around it, giving it resources, is a fantastic way to capitalize on that. You can see heavy trading has come out. They've gotten this Rumble low, and it just allows a free kill pickup, and this is the first. They also find an opportunity here where they actually try and punish the Jace, but more backup is there for DRX. And I'm watching this and I'm thinking, hey, this is looking pretty good. That lasted maybe 10 seconds.
Yeah, because immediately after that, we did go straight to the mid lane where it looked like, hey, they got a nice little angle here. Maybe they killed Chovy. Well, it's not the first time he's baited an entire team, and he flashes away. And it turns into this weird, wonky, messy fight where like the charm comes out from really low Chovy. And it just feels like after this, like all the wind is taken out of their sails, even though it's so early on in the game. And then we had one fight afterwards, 11 minutes in, that was like the real deal breaker for this one.
I like that one. Never heard that one. Real low Chovy. Lovey. Something that we could use maybe earlier in those escapes is here he was pretty hivey. On the TP flank, catches out DRX who were unable to dive onto the backline.
Yeah, and I think always, it looks like initially a good skirmish. You get the double ult with the Skarner, but the follow-up's not quite there. I think Rich on another target, not using the combo on them. You also don't have the Azir back up immediately. And the thing is, when you're playing against an Ahri, when you're playing against a Jhin, it's very hard to disengage cleanly from a fight because the ult comes down, the Ahri starts getting resets. And as well, it's also the Neferi as well, able to get those resets too. So I think a little bit of a missed approach. I like the concept of the double Skarner roll, but they weren't all on the same target. And the second you make a mistake against Gen.G, you're in the bin.
Yeah, we said that before. Give them a millimeter, and they'll take a kilometer. We actually said that on the cast, so it was really funny.
Those are normal units.
Yeah, it's just really...
In the rest of the world, those are normal units of measurement. It's only these Americans
Whatever
who are like,
you say, I don't know.
millimeter?
I don't know
Kilometer?
what you're doing over there on that island.
Those are freedom units.
But yeah, it was like,
what are
you're
you doing?
surrounded,
What
by
are
the
you
way.
doing? Yes, there's two of us here.
And I'll fight twice as hard.
Miles.
You know?
For kilometers? You're gonna fight us for kilometers?
The metric system, it makes more sense. How many football fields? How many footballs was that?
No. Bring them out of this conversation.
Those aren't Americans. Where's Wolf?
Yeah, where's Wolf?
Crockler throws up his hands. He's like, I'm American. What are you talking about? No, you're not, Crockler. You're Dutch.
Friends at home, let us know what you think. Is it a yard? Is it a mile? Is it a meter? Is it a kilometer?
It's definitely not a yard. That's
all
a
those
made-up
things.
instrument.
All those things are what Gen.G takes when there is an opening, though. DRX, something to build on. Early game prowess, picks. I mean, Rich looked pretty distraught after that game, though.
I think you just need to be a bit more decisive when you go for these plays and really be clean. It felt like the lack of coordination a little bit. It's kind of like, hey, I think this play can maybe go good for us. Let's give it a go. Let's give it a try. Oh, back. And then you're just in the bin immediately. I think if you're going for those plays, you need a clear plan. Everyone needs to be on the same target. It needs to be decisive. You don't get the opportunity to be indecisive against Gen.G.
For me, I just don't like in that second highlight we had where it was like it started off really well, but then they lost a guy. But it was like another one of these things where the weaker teams will just like, well, we're all already committed. We have to double down. We have to get something. But they just put themselves in a much worse situation. Like you could just say, okay, we took a small loss here. It didn't go as we planned. We can just back away. Like they had an opportunity to do that, but instead they just all-in onto Nefiri and Poppy, I think it was, and it was just the easiest disengage of all time for Gen.G.
Maybe there was some miscommunication. Like someone said that we need to be like a kilometer away, and they're like, wait, how much of a mile is that?
Rich is like
what's
I spent a little bit of time, you know, over in the artist formerly known as the LCS, so we calculate things differently in LA. That's true.
Yeah, it gets really confusing when people are using different systems for distance. So
someone
maybe
threw out nautical
align
miles. You know, you could calculate in nautical miles. Yeah.
How many leagues under the sea?
Could be light years. How many light years? Light years is a distance calculation.
I think it's a little bit overkill to be using
How many
light years.
leagues is Gen.G above this league?
How many light years ahead of every other team is Gen.G?
Well, there'll be another league ahead if they get themselves a win here today. Another 2-0. Or will DRX surprise everyone and get themselves a win and potentially upset of the season? Let's find out as we send it back on over to Atlas and Chronicler.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. That was a completely unnecessary argument. The only unit of distance that we have here is Teemos. There is no other. This is League of Legends. Your metric system and Imperial system need not apply, even if the metric system is obviously better in every way, shape, or form.
When it comes to the interpersonal interactions, that might be my favorite desk setup.
Oh, so good.
It's just Dan and Brendan bouncing off each other in increasingly unhinged ways, and Degon then trying to...
I love that Degon thinks that he can get it back under control, and you can see it in his face when he's like, oh, no, I've got this.
We gotta
and then
pull
he
it back.
realizes that he just has no control.
You can't pull it back.
You cannot.
Can't be done.
Yeah, it's like, you know, it's a bit like Merry and Pippin. You can't control it. That is like
chastise.
I feel like that's the greatest like analogy of Brendan and Dan.